Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to This Week in Random. I am your host, Mike S. Miller. This is Blacklist Universe. Please like, share, subscribe if you like this kind of content. Today in the news, CBR.com, Kylo Ren destroyed this key Star Wars landmark for good reason. What landmark are we talking about? What landmark are we talking about? What could it be? Warning, spoilers. The following article contains spoilers for Star Wars Age of Resistance, Supreme Leader Snoke #1 by Tom Taylor. How you been, Tom? I miss you, man. And Leonard Kirk on sale now. The Cave of Dagobah, introduced in Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, has long been associated with the dark side of the Force, primarily because we had only seen it through the eyes of Luke Skywalker. That's not accurate, but if you're only going on what the movies have done, yeah. But we've got other supplemental stuff, not even just the books, the Clone Wars, and other supplemental stuff. Dagobah has been the Cave of Dagobah has featured in multiple other things as, yes, a place associated with the dark side of the Force. Not just because of Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back. However, in Marvel's Star Wars Age of Resistance, Supreme Leader Snoke #1, the role of the location is far more complex. Like Ahch-To's Sea Cave in The Last Jedi, it's instead a place where the Force tests visitors with their biggest fears and challenges, which in Kylo Ren's case have nothing to do with the dark side. This is actually written like some Tom, do your research. Destroy the past, kill it if you have to. I know I don't get into that, but the a little. I mean, if you just did a little bit of research. So the Cave of Dagobah is strong on the dark side of the Force because a dark Jedi leader was killed there, and his energies, his dark Jedi energies, were absorbed into the cave, the surrounding cave. So that it has a source in the dark side. It is not just some place that's powerful in the Force. Now, personally, I have this opinion of the Force that kind of skirts the whole thing. I think of the Force as a force, like a force of nature, and people tap into it, and it's their own choices that push the Force to the dark or the light. It's not the dark side is an influence or the light side makes you better, right? It's just people's perception from, frankly, a religious perspective of whether they want to be selfless or selfish. To me, that makes more sense out of the Force than even most of what they try to explain, because it's all perspective. It's all perspective, right? The Jedi have their religious perspective on how the Force works. The Sith have their religious perspective on how the Force works. But the Force is beyond religion, beyond their faith. It moves through and guides and all that stuff. But it's not a sentient being. It is a force. It is a power that can be tapped into and manipulated. But whether it's dark or light, I really think it makes more sense that is to do with the user, the wielder itself, not with influence of the Force. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. I haven't read all of the books, and I don't even know what's canon anymore. But apparently all of the historical dark side stuff of the Cave of Dagobah, Tom Taylor, you're letting the past die. You're killing it yourself. Providing a stark contrast to Yoda's training of Luke, The issue depicts Snoke's tutelage of his young apprentice, beginning with the hurling Kylo from a cliff. With hurling Kylo from a cliff, striking him in the face with his obsidian ring, and then sending him into that familiar cave on Dagobah. When Kylo walks into the gnarly undergrowth, he first sees his uncle Luke in full Jedi garb, who tells his nephew he doesn't want to kill him. Angry at his uncle's perceived treason, Kylo charges and slays him. However, Snoke and the cave itself are not yet done. Confronting Luke was only a warm-up for the true test, facing his parents, Leia Organa and Han Solo. Han and Leia. Come on, just say Han and Leia. Desperate to pull him back into the light. Yeah, this is not what the Cave of Dagobah is about. It is not a balancing center. It is a focus of the dark side of the Force. Even there's the reason Yoda stayed near the cave, according to I don't remember where it's from, was that the darkness, the dark side of the Force energies from the cave masked Yoda's very powerful light side of the Force signature from any Sith seeking him throughout the galaxy, or seeking, Jedi throughout the galaxy. So it's a specifically dark side Force cave, location, or however it is said. So this is completely rewriting all of thus far canonized Star Wars history. But hey, Tom, you do you. You do you. The theme of balance is a powerful undercurrent in both the original trilogy and the prequels, but it's front and center in the sequels. Luke literally confronts the Shadow in Empire Strikes Back in one of the scariest scenes in the franchise. Yeah, I remember being scared of that when I was a kid. Luke was facing the enemy who gave the order to burn his aunt and uncle, slew his mentor, and now pursued his friends. Surely only an evil place would torture our hero, and that Yoda chastised him for failing only reinforced the negative message. However, in Supreme Leader Snoke, Dagobah's true purpose is revealed. In other words, everything we know about Dagobah has been erased, and a new purpose is revealed, contradicting everything we know about it. But hey, it's just a comic, right? By showing Kylo Ren his parents, the cave is drawing him into balance. Balance. It is all about the balance of the Force. By forcing him to acknowledge the part of himself he wants to bury. His love for his family. Not because love is a bad emotion, but because it's pulling him in the opposite direction of Snoke's promises. And both his parents' love and Snoke's plan hinged around that mighty Skywalker blood. It just dawned on me here, the whole reason Jedi are not allowed to love is because it's emotion, which is always something I thought the Jedi rules against marriage and love and family and all that stuff is just such garbage to me. Unfortunately, that was canon garbage, but it's what made me. I'm not going to say I'm not a Sith, but I vehemently disagree with what the Jedi teach in this regard, because love is a good. Love is a blessing. Love should turn people towards the light. But instead, what? They say, well, love is an emotion, and emotions can cloud your judgment and turn you to the dark side of the Force. So why not? Why not let Kylo's love for his parents turn him to the dark side of the Force? I don't know. It's all convoluted. It's all messy, and it's always irritated me. But I guess we can move on past that. I don't want to sit here and complain about canon stuff. From a purely psychological point of view, the healthy step for Kylo would be to embrace his parents and reintegrate the part he had tried to bury within himself, becoming stronger in the process. However, in this issue set during Kylo's formative years with Snoke, he wasn't yet ready to do that. Of course, that doesn't mean he would be able or willing to kill his own parents, even with Snoke's encouragement. Therefore, Kylo takes the third option and decides to instead destroy the Dagobah cave. It's a cave. It's not made out of trees. It may be covered with trees, like on the outside, but it's made out of limestone and dirt. So that must have been fun. And the dark side of the Force is seeped into the cave itself. So it doesn't matter if you have a rock that is seeped in the dark side of the Force and you cut it in half. Great, you have 2 rocks that are now seeped in the dark side of the Force. You can't destroy the dark side of the Force with a lightsaber. You know, Tom is actually a good writer. I just really don't think he did his homework for this. In Star Wars, trees are symbols of life and stand-ins for the Force itself. Look, for instance, at the sacred Jedi text contained within the tree in Ahch-To, or at the Uneti trees that adorn the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, by ripping Dagobah's tree cave apart. It's not a tree cave. It is a limestone cave that is the entrance. Yes, there's trees in the entrance. Kylo metaphorically chooses to kill the Force rather than to kill his parents. Another way to read this scene is as a foreshadowing of the way in which he kills Snoke in The Last Jedi. Oh. The way he severs the roots of the tree is remarkably similar to the bisection of the Supreme Leader. It also clarifies his motivation his motivation in that hymn. What? It also clarifies his motivation in that hymn. That is, come on. Editors, please hire an editor. He didn't kill Snoke because he was in a rush to take over the galaxy, but because he was trying to protect who he loved from being destroyed. He did not love Rey. He just met Rey. How is he... Was it love at first sight? Is this suddenly turning into a romantic... Well, it's not a comedy, unless it's a comedy of errors. Anyways, yeah, again, my whole my whole thing here is that Tom Taylor, again, has been a really good writer. I worked with him on Injustice for years. I always thought he would be one of the great writers of the next generation. But really, Tom, you got to do more homework than this. Unless they just came to you and said, hey, let the past die. Kill it if you have to. Let's kill Dagobah. Let's kill Star Wars. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense with what we know about the cave on Dagobah. It seems like he's just taking stuff out of context for the sake of writing his own version of this tale. I don't know what kind of direction the writers at Marvel get from Lucasfilm or from Disney in order to craft these stories. I don't know if they have story editors who know the lore, who go back in and correct stuff, but this is not right. And unfortunately, it's what we're going to get. Hey guys, if you want to read some good comics by, again, Tom Taylor's artist on Injustice, that would be me. You can always go to Lone Star at Indiegogo. Go to LoneStarComic.com and back my project, Lone Star and Monster Hunt, 2 different books featuring my artwork, my writing. I think you'll like my writing. Most of the people so far have liked it, loved issue 1. You can get issue 1 and 2 right here, and then grab Monster Hunt on the way out with an add-on perk, 0 additional shipping. At any rate, that is LoneStarComic.com. This has been Mike Miller for This Week in Random. I really appreciate everybody being here, for your liking, for your subscribing, and most importantly, for your sharing this out with your friends, family, other Star Wars nerds and comic book geeks. Hope to see you guys on the next video. Thank you very much, and have a great week in random.